Sweet.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Let's see, price was this is yesterday. Um, Price gap down on Sunday afternoon, based on the weather models warming up over the weekend. Then it came down to about 412, and then made a strong move up from there, and kind of like sat still, and then there's a lot of turmoil here. That's how I'm going to describe it. Around midnight, a lot of back and forth, and then it slowly started to come down. And then I don't know, someone thought it'd be a good idea to buy a bunch because it was a steal at $4.17. This is based on weather models, like showing more signs of cold coming up. Let's see, yeah. It went from about, I think it was like 26 degree days up to about 30 for this spike coming up in the middle of the month.
Yeah, it's like a 3-day of hump because say hump because it's like a line graph for people who are watching, showing the heating degree days. It's like about 3 days long, and then yeah, it added some heating degree days.
And yeah, this is it's cold weather, but I mean it's so late in the season. I don't get why there'd be like a rally. Prices are already super
Well,
high,
oh,
but
we know why.
yeah, we do. I mean, it's a free market. People can buy it up all they want, um, and it's their right to maintain a long position in the March contract at $4.34. It's up to them, but yeah. So I mean, I have no idea. Like I kind of like to say I don't know. Like I don't feel obligated to, but say what price is going. I have no idea. This is ludicrous. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like it might trade sideways. I would say like the top would be the top from
The last rally.
kind of, yeah, like 445 ish, somewhere in that area is just my for intraday.
Oh,
I would think if it could
oh,
break
okay.
over that, then yeah, it'll just keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, when I said last rally, I'm at the 550 mark.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking like $17. It would go up to $17. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly.
Well, if it like gapped up past the the 550 mark, that would be confirmation of an upward movement in the price. So I would go long.
Yeah, that would be
I'm
yeah,
totally kidding
it
to
would
people.
totally
I would not do that.
no.
But there are people who say that's there's people who trade like that.
Um,
I don't recommend it.
no, yeah, I wouldn't recommend going long here. That's why I'm surprised that so many people are doing it. But definitely not at 550. Holy cow, that'd be suicide.
Somebody did. That's the beauty
You're
of
right.
it.
You're
That
right.
those are the people who are going long, at other prices. Who are like, dude, who's buying this right now? People who are closing out short positions because they made a ton of money off of going short at 550, and people who are then like trying to average down their cost basis from 550.
Right.
Yeah,
The
because
people who
I
went
don't know.
long anywhere above $5, right?
Yep. Yeah, all those people who went long, all because that's why there's points on the chart above that price because people bought at that price.
Mhm.
So yeah, all those people were like, "Oh no, I don't want this to look like a loss, so I'm gonna buy a ton." Every time it's down in the like 415 to 420 range, they're doing it with the hope that like this will happen and they can sell at like a break even, at like 440.
Yeah, if this starts, man, it's like we've talked about this. It's like a meme stock.
Mhm. Yeah, there's so many more people trading this. It's still very like I would say like under the radar, like as opposed to
Okay.
big name commodities. Like because like you name like commodities and people are like, oh, oil and gold and
Platinum.
things. Yeah, platinum, all these like trendy stuff, and you see like natural gas. People are just like, what? What is that? Oh, it's stuff that's in your furnace. Oh, that's usually people's reaction to me when and it's just kind of like
Never heard
not.
of it.
There's, I mean, well, there's not as much money in it as oil, for example, and so it's just something where I just think people with knowledge in that sector, in the oil sector, have been moved. They've moved into these new trading desks that have been set up recently around the world to trade natural gas, and so now there's more money in gas now because so much more of it is used around the world for energy.
Yeah, really became or started becoming globalized, and it's like, I mean, it's there. It's there, mostly in the form of, well, I guess, intercontinentally, which this is like water is wet statement, but in the form of LNG. I haven't even had a sip. What is wrong with me? Oh no, I
Are
was
you
waiting
about to
for it to
just
cool
say you
off.
haven't had any coffee?
Yeah, I was waiting for it to cool off, not warm up. Cool off. It was too
Oh
cold.
man, may
Cover
the
my tracks with
powers of the universe preserve your existence
that.
for not having any coffee
I'll
while you
be
do rule the
happy
world.
to be preserved from going long on a March contract at anything over $4
Yeah.
with less or with more than 1 trillion cubic feet in inventories for end of season projections.
Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious. The other day we read I think that was yesterday. We read a what's it called? Um an analyst's assessment. I guess I'll put it that way.
Okay.
And and remember they described a 1,250 billion cubic foot inventory as robust.
Oh yeah.
They're like, well, because we're gonna have at least a robust 1,250 end of season inventory. I was like, well, and when they were talking relative to current prices, this was the context for people who were watching, and like, I was like, man, I've never heard that low of an inventory described as robust before.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah,
you know.
that's like a paltry. I would call that a paltry
Hmm.
inventory, like paltry.
Yes.
So that those are the kind of things like we've talked about before when you're reading people's quote unquote analysis of things, where you can see the bias of where like their position is. It's like, oh, this is like some analyst for this trading firm. Okay, cool. They're short right now. Like, like I don't know. I don't know what other context someone would call a 1250 end of season inventory robust.
No, I'm trying to think. I can't think of one either. Like, no, and I totally agree. It's it, it's yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to like let yourself talk to yourself a certain way. Like, or like let yourself be influenced by other people's thinking, um
Hmm.
and all that, and then also to kind of, I don't know, cling on to anything, any sort of hope, or whatever, if um you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's easy to rationalize your position, like an upside down position. I'm not saying that person's upside down. I'm just saying like the psychology behind trading is like 50, or trading is like 50% psychology, and it's easy to let yourself do those things. I think it's like part of being a human being.
I'm making a decision, then wanting to be with it, and then looking for like little kernels of rationalization or justification for why that decision was a great idea, at the time, or still is,
Yes.
like type deal. Yeah.
Yeah, well put.
'Cause, yeah, I literally in years of time, I've never heard of inventory that low being called robust. That just like like jumped off the page at me. I was like, what? Because for people who don't know, that's well below the 5-year average for like inventory. and that's the benchmark that gets used is the 5-year average.
Yeah, that. I'm not even sure what the range is. 5-year average range, but I think a good.
Oh, look, why you look?
Oh,
I'll look for you.
I think a good average. Yeah, like a good like average to think about is like 1.6 to 1.7 trillion cubic feet.
Yeah,
So they're talking 1.25.
yeah. So here, I'm gonna look at, it's coming up right now. These websites are always slow. So yeah, so the 5-year average, yeah, is 1,635. That's the 5-year average.
Oh, but the range, like the
Okay, the range is 1107, which was in 2019, and the high is 2049, which is in 2017. Well, I can read all 5 in order for all the peeps out there if you want me. I will read. In fact, I will read it. That
it's
sounds
not yeah, it's not up to me. Do
that
you want
sounds that
to?
sounds that sounds terrible of me to like tease the information. So the lowest number of end of season inventory in the last 5 years was 1,107 billion cubic feet. The next lowest was 1,281 billion cubic feet. And that was in 2018. The first one was 2019, like I said. The third was 1,750. That was in 2021. We remember that. We remember that year. The next one was 1,986. That was in 2020. And for people who are watching and they're looking at that inventory and then they see like what the price did, well, that was an anomaly because it was 2020. Like the shutdowns were rolling in globally for people who don't make that like historical, like fundamental connection as to why that would happen, like the price would act the way it did that year. And the fifth one for the year 2017, which was the highest, was 2,049 billion cubic feet. So out of all those, it would be out of those 5 for the 5-year average, if we had a 1,250 inventory, it would be the second lowest. So it's like within the range of the 5-year, but it's well below what the actual average itself is, which is 1,635. But I mean, it's like right on the bottom of that like spectrum.
Right.
Which there's a very there within our research for people watching. Within our research, there's a number of people that we like kind of look at. They put out what they think, and one of the people is a very like the force is strong with how bullish they are, no matter how uh bearish fundamentals are. The person's very bullish all the time. And this person thinks that the inventory this year will end at 1,416 billion cubic feet. So it's like 150 billion cubic feet higher than that analyst was saying. And this person's pretty accurate. This person does a pretty good job at getting inventory numbers. I'd say within 50 billion cubic feet of the end of season, like when we're about this year, give or take.
About this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, not like way months out. Because if way months out, if that number was correct, we'd have zero natural gas right now.
Yeah.
We'd be living in Mad Max right now, and I'd be like, trying to learn how to drag race out in the desert in the outback of Australia, wearing full leathers, of course, in 120-degree heat.
I'd be learning how to fight with chainsaws.
Right, exactly, like dual wielding them.
Yeah. Yeah, no natural gas means
Apocalypse.
yeah, it's no energy. Like not immediately, but eventually.
Yeah, I
Goodbye.
know. Like in the U.S., it'd be like apocalypse. It's like the largest single source of energy now in the United States. I'm sorry, electricity, not energy. Because when you say energy, that includes people using stuff like diesel fuel and gasoline to power cars and stuff. Like that's why oil is still technically like the largest source of energy because all of those are like oil derived products that come straight from oil.
Yeah.
And so then when you like go down to the root of what it is, then that's why oil is so big. People go to the EIA website and look at that, and they're looking at total energy that includes like gasoline, heating oil, diesel fuel, kerosene, all these other, products that come from oil. So that's why oil is so high on the graph. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I'm sure everyone otherwise people would be sitting there like, man, who burns oil like straight oil? Well, Hawaii does for one, but
Yeah, there are countries that do. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, so it's just, that's just stuff to like think about because like when you're talking energy, you're talking like all energy, everything down to like the person's like portable generator that they have up behind their house for when the power goes out and they turn it on and it's like burning diesel, which was funny because I read an article. It was a bunch of people in California had bought a bunch of those because of like power outages, and then they stopped doing it because they stopped using them and are trying to sell them because they found out how inefficient burning diesel is for electricity, and they were having to spend like $2,000 a month on diesel because you're just burning
Yeah.
through. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're burning through like 100 gallons of diesel a day.
Yeah, super inefficient. That's why power plants don't burn diesel.
Yeah, yeah. That's why anyone who's ever had a a job where they've had to like quote unquote babysit like diesel burning generators, like that was like their whole thing. Like, hey, all right, you need to make sure none of these generators shut off. They need to be running all the time. And their like whole job was just to go around and check the fluids and pour diesel into them. Like realize really quickly how fast those like 5 gallon cans it goes through those 5 gallon cans.
Yep, it's I have done that, and it is it's
Me too.
quick.
Yep. Me too. And it's like, what? Holy cow. You're basically just dumping. You're basically just going around all these generators and dumping diesel and like, oh wow, this can's empty. Like throwing can. Oh wow, like you think you have like these pallets of like 5 gallon cans, and it's like, oh man, this will last forever. Nope, it'll last like one day. You're like, holy cow! Each generator goes to like 120 gallons of diesel a day. Holy what? And they're all 5 gallon cans, just like covered in diesel fluid
Ugh,
all down
yeah.
your front. It's just stink. Legs are burning from all the chemical burns.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's healthy. It's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Don't ever join the infantry.
Yeah, this. So in my mind, all right. In my mind, the prices gap down based on weather getting warmer, um, and it was just like time of the year and the price and everything. It could be a dead cat bounce today. We could trade, that could be it. We could trade sideways. I mean, it's just I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, we're not day
But
traders. Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, I would assume.
dead cat bounce is a good thought
Yeah, I would
because it
assume.
came down hard. Came out hard. It took
Yeah,
3 days. The price went down. What the price took like 6 days to go up.
yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 days. Took 6 days for it to get up to the top, and then 3 days to come down. That's fast coming down. So yeah, this could definitely be a dead cat, and I mean the day could end lower than where it is now. It could also end higher, obviously. But yeah, I think dead cat bounce is a uh, good way to word it. That's how I would see it. That and some people, people always short at different spots. Like we know there are people who, they don't start a short position, like because we joke about like, oh yeah, when we're at like 550, go long, because there's people who literally do that, and there's just like there's people who they started their short position at like 450, Like after the gap down yesterday, they started like adding into a short position. You know what I taught, you know what
Yes, I
in
know
which I speak
exactly.
of.
Yep.
And then people with that position, they could be getting nervous because that cold weather coming up because it's gotten colder and they could close out that short position because at a small gain. Because like, oh yeah, I went short at 443 or whatever, and then they're like, oh man, that cold weather coming in. They don't want to be underwater on their position ever, and so they're going to just close it out because they play it really safe. I think there's all kinds of people in the market for trading with all different strategies. That's just kind of what I'm trying to get across to people is that because these are strategies that I know I see people who literally this is what they do, like what I'm describing. To me, I would never do that. That's not my trading strategy at all. That's not how I trade. So it's just just the kind of stuff to keep in mind. And so I think you're right. I think it's a dead cat bounce. I expect us to, see lower prices in the future. And I guess in fact, I'll hone that in some. So it's not barring like a Russian invasion, like for people who don't know, it's a real possibility that Russia will invade Ukraine, and that will have like a strong effect on, temporarily at least on the prices of natural gas here in the United States. Like barring that happening, I would say that looking at the March contract, between now and the end of trading the March contract will be below $4. Which for people who don't know, the contract ends like the trading of it before the first day of March. Just help them out there. Try not to sneeze, sorry.
It's all good. The 24th of this month is the
Oh,
last
yeah.
trading day of the March contract.
Yeah, it's a super short month, so everything's whack.
Right. And so that
Because
might,
normally it'd be like the 27th or the 28th of a month, but
yeah.
because there's only 28 days in this month, yeah, everything's super quick. I
It,
still stand by what I said. Those 3 days don't matter.
no, I totally agree. I was just nailing it down. And even if like your trading platform doesn't allow you to trade the contract on that day,
Hmm.
that's the final day.
Yeah. Most retail trading platforms don't.
No, they cut retail traders off from that futures trading, and
Because future, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
the
sorry.
reason is I'll show you.
Ooh, yeah, I was gonna say, oh, good. You got diagrams?
Yes. Oh yeah, we got diagrams. This is why. So this is the final trading day of the February contract, and there's just super low liquidity. You can see volume in the bot like right over here on the screen. 7,182 contracts traded that day. So liquidity means how able you are to trade something at different prices. Basically, like how much volume there is what it translates to here on this chart. So super low volume, you can see it compared to the rest. Here's volume down here at the bottom. You see this one little tiny volume bar right here, super tiny compared to the rest of them. So it's a lot harder to execute or to exit a position. Anyway, so this is why you can't trade as a retail trader. You cannot trade futures contracts on the last day, is because there's no one to buy, or they'll buy, but at a really steep price. You can see it went all the way up to $7.34 and 6 tenths.
Yep. And a
Yeah,
retail, and the thing is that because if you have the contract at the end of that day, then you're in a contract to take physical delivery of the commodity. So you're gonna have a bunch of natural gas that you're supposed to receive, and you're not gonna be able to store that in your house.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure like I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that the broker, like say whoever you're using for trading, um, they have to broker the physical transfer of that commodity, right? Not sure.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know, I've never looked into it because I've never been interested in taking physical delivery of a commodity. Not even gold.
No, I think I remember reading that a long time ago. Could be wrong. Anyway, they're trying to save retail traders from
Yeah.
putting themselves in a bad position, bad situation, accepting physical delivery of just
Yeah.
a shit ton of natural gas is what it comes down to.
Yeah, or any commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna
And
get
I say the gold
40,000.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh? So no, go ahead.
I was gonna say here you go. Here's 40,000 bushels of wheat.
Yeah, exactly. We got like 18 flatbed trucks of wheat here for you, just raw wheat. Where do you want it?
Oh, you don't have a grain silo? Oh man.
Well, I guess you're up. You know what creek without a paddle?
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Uh, oh yeah, I was gonna say not even gold because man, if you want to like increase your chance of your house being burglarized, like just have like pounds of gold in it and let people find out. Market
Market
just
just
opened.
oh yeah, yeah, market just
Oh
opened.
yeah, volume is lower than it was yesterday at this point. Right now we're at 32,000, just over 32,000 contracts. Open interest is way down, like way down. We're down to 210,000.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Pretty steep curve there.
Like it got steep after the gap down. So I would really think that a bunch of people did close out short positions yesterday after the big gap down
Yeah, that's what looking at it, that's what I would think too. That's my
because it's that little
deduction.
blue line for people who don't know, that little thin pencil blue line along the bottom on the bar graph. Boop, boop, boop. Yep. So it just goes like meow. It's like gradually going down, and then at the end it just goes meow, like almost like way more straight down. My new tattoo is like itching like crazy, but only when I touch it. And since it's on, my forearm, on like the underside or inside of my forearm, that's just every time I touch my mouse and
Yes.
and my arm like touches my desk. That's the only time it itches. That's it.
So like all the time.
Yeah, basically, yeah, all the time. Or if I like do something like this, it causes the sleeve of my shirt to like rub up against it. Yeah, like that. So it's like yeah, from my wrist all the way up to my elbow.
So prices at V well, it was at VWAP and came up a little bit. Right here is kind of like the I would expect price to come down below VWAP if it can't make a move above where it is right now. But
Yeah, I'm with you there.
volumes kind of yeah, like you said, it's lower today than it was yesterday at this point, and I mean you can see it. Like on these 2 minute candles or these 1 minute here, yeah, these 1 minute candles behind me. I mean, honestly, I would say like I don't know, like 150 is like probably average, or somewhere between 100 and 150. So anything below that, I would say is below average. Anything above 200, like and I don't mean like one candle here, one candle there. I mean like kind of sustained, like in this area right here. That would be like solid volume.
Hmm.
But yeah, kind of slow here. So if that continues, I would kind of expect it to trade. I don't know, sideways today. Maybe someone might be fading the rallies here. You can see this peak here, peak here. I guess, a peak there, kind of, but you can see it's descending. But again, it's low volume. It's just kind of like could come down to a certain point, and someone's like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy this now," and then it just like skyrockets on like one 15-minute candle, and then same situation where it fades. But yeah, we're not day traders, so I don't put my money on these things, and I'm not like trying to call out a price for the day, but just kind of expectations.
Yes, because long-term trends are way easier to recognize and predict than like 5-minute trends. Like
Yeah.
like literally like the trends that you're looking at in a day trading. Oh, dude, the price is gonna do this in the next 2 hours. Like, good luck. Where's my magic quarter? I
Yeah.
lost it. Did I leave it? Like, where did I leave my magic quarter at to find? Hold on, let me look. Hold on, let me consult my coffee grounds. 1 minute. Oh, the magic coffee ground dregs. Price in the next 32 minutes is gonna do this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know either. Yeah, Predictatron 6000 is
yeah,
offline today.
yep. Yeah, I saw this funny thing. There was this article the other day in the Wall Street Journal, and this dude described himself as a day trader, and he was talking about how he'd been holding some stock in a company for over a year now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's not day trading.
No, that's not having a stop loss and being afraid to realize losses
Yeah.
and
Oh
then
no, this
become
dude was a big time bag holder of a meme
yeah,
stock. And he was
totally.
trying to pump it because he was the victim of a pump and dump. He
Mhm.
doesn't realize he was a victim of a pump and dump. And now he's just trying to pump it himself, trying to get other people to buy it so it'll go up. Doesn't realize that's not happening.
No.
Oh, for all the people who are watching who are made aware of that, they've done all the like analysis of like who made all the money off that, and it was a bunch of hedge funds made money off it, like tons of hedge funds and brokerage banks made tons of money off that, like craziness,
Off of
and like
well, just real quick, like the meme stock
yeah, the
thing
meme
like a year
stock,
ago.
yeah, meme stock things, yeah, and then the dude who like initiated the pump and dump because he had bought it all as a penny stock, he made like tens of millions of dollars, and yeah, all those like people who had no clue what they were doing and bought into it. They're all bag holders now, hanging out on Wall Street bets.
It's like like an IPO at a retail level.
Yep.
Some kind of scam.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they're already talking about Peloton being bought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're already. Everyone's like, "Yeah, Peloton, sell yourself. You're a worthless company." What a joke.
Oh, I thought you meant like someone was gonna buy it, like a
Oh yeah,
company.
like a company is. Yeah.
Oh, is
Yep.
there a deal in progress?
No, like they're looking for it though. Well, because the company's like worthless, so now
Yeah.
companies have to figure out what price they would buy it at. You know what I mean? Like, oh, 32 cents. 5 someone will buy it and they'll pay way too much for it because the reality is like it's worthless.
Yeah, they put a bunch of like tablets on stationary bikes and then charge
Yeah,
an arm and a leg for them, and then a subscription service on top of it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, like yeah, your demographic market is saturated in like half a year.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Because everyone else is just like, "Oh, cool, I can buy any stationary bike. I can take my cell phone. I can take my cell phone, put it on put it on my bike like this." I don't have a bike personally, but if I did, hypothetically, and I could put it on my bike like this. If I didn't have a tablet, you could just use your cell phone, and I have a really tiny cell phone compared to most people because I have a mini. I have an iPhone 12 mini. So my cell phone is like half the size, like screen-wise, as the average person's. And then you can just like there's YouTube channels for cycling classes. And you can just watch it, you know what I mean, an exercise YouTube channel for free.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, I mean like literally like
Yeah, and if you want to get fancy, you could even like get like one of those little like cell phone holders that you mount like on your dash in your car, like for so you can use it
Mhm.
as like a GPS
Yeah. And then when
instead
you
of
like
instead of like clamping it on like some jury rigging some clamp or something on the front of
Mhm,
the bike, you buy a fancy holder.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then when you lose like your first 20 pounds, you celebrate by buying like a tablet,
Yeah.
like just a cheap tablet that'll work because all you're doing is like streaming YouTube on it on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's a competition that Peloton's like stupid. Like when that company was going public, I was just like, dude, what a scam. And I was like, oh man, enjoy that going into your 401k as the price just incinerates and the founders like pay themselves in huge stacks of cash.
This is not a tech company.
No.
European prices are sitting pretty steady. They're down 1% today. It's just
Yeah.
hanging out there. $70. Oh no, sorry, 70 around $80.
Yeah. Taking one for the team. That's what they like to feel about it anyways. Really, they're just taking it for nothing.
Yeah, a lot of. So President Biden is like going around internationally trying to like see who will help out in Europe's time of need if Russia should cut off gas supplies to Europe as part of some military action. And
But they won't, but yeah, that's cute that
well,
Biden's doing that.
yeah, and it's like it's no surprise. I mean, like any spare LNG exporting capacity that a country may have, like heck yeah, they're gonna sell to like anyone who's willing to pay that much money. It's like it doesn't take a phone call and like trying to gather like
Right?
all the friends and stuff together to be like, hey, will you help us? And it's just like,
Right?
of course they're going to. No, I mean,
It's a market.
yeah, Australia, like they don't have the same so in Australia, for people who don't know, they have to, like before they export LNG, they have to offer it on like the national level at competitive prices to see if anyone like, internally like in their country will buy that natural gas before shipping it out. But still, like no one's gonna buy it like $200, whatever the price runs up to,
Right?
and so it'll get shipped out. And like but anyway, yeah, it's just funny. Like what a waste of time making all
Yeah,
these
exactly.
phone calls and stuff, pulling strings internationally because
Doing nothing.
so much clout. It's just like
No. They just talk about what kind of sandwich they like to eat when they have the next like presidential dinner.
yeah,
Like literally because it's doing nothing. It's like, oh dude, we could solve real problems, but why do that when you can just politically grandstand for 6 months straight?
yes.
What a joke. But hey, people lap it up like cream because they're totally uneducated on something.
Yeah, French President Macron. I don't speak French, so I'm just say Macron. I don't know the accent, but
Macaroon cookies.
yeah. He went to Moscow yesterday to talk to President Putin, and he had high hopes. It's just funny. This is more political grandstanding. So Macron went into the situation publicly. He was very very optimistic about how promising and how optimistic it was. And then on the other side of that talk, Russia was like, "We don't see anything happening here. We don't predict anything,
Yep.
any major breakthroughs." and then today you see the headlines, and Russia is like, "Yeah, nothing happened." And Macron's like, "I think we may have discovered a concrete solution going forward." And like, and then surprise, surprise, if you look in a little bit deeper, Macron has France has their presidential elections coming up in April. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's just you gotta read between the lines of stuff like that. Like
he like went over and begged Putin not to invade till after the election, basically.
yeah, like for weeks these talks in Russia have done nothing, and Russia's been very realistic about it in their narrative. The West just wants to keep talking and talking and talking, and then now Macron has something he can use for his political campaign to say like, "Oh, I went over there and talked to him, and I think I was the best talker out of everybody.
Out of all the talking.
Yeah, out of all the talking, mine were the best." And
Mm-hmm.
so he can, I don't know, I guess he can say that to his constituents. I tried my darndest.
Sell t-shirts.
Yeah. I'll only buy one if it comes out of one of those cool T-shirt guns.
That's right. Yeah, for people who don't know, Nord Stream 1, which was the original Nord Stream pipeline, last year, Russia sent record high volume through it to Germany. The like label mark for the pipeline capacity for the year is 55 billion cubic meters, and they sent over 59 billion cubic meters through it because people have contracts and they deliver what people have contracts for. So that's just stuff like that to like day in, like to keep in mind when you're looking at things. For because the whole reason why we're talking about this because this event will have like a drastic reaction or drastic effect on natural gas prices in a very short term. And then when the knee-jerk reaction is over, the price will go back to where the fundamentals are, and the like political narrative that's like being put out is not what is like actually going on. So it's like really important to like pay attention to that, and it has nothing to do with being like pro or anti politically anybody. It's like looking at what the actual gas is doing because that's what you're looking at. You're looking at supply and demand of gas and like where the gas is and who has it. And we're trading an American market again to keep that in mind. So even if like gas spikes, which is what I would expect to happen if Russia invaded Ukraine, I would expect American gas to spike out of hysteria and a complete lack of logic. And then the gas would come right back down when it like realizes, oh wait, that has zero effect on us. When I say zero effect on us, that is in the realm of like natural gas.
Yeah. So most of the stuff we talk about is directed toward natural gas in one way or another.
Other than when we're mocking Peloton.
Yes, yeah, stuff like that. That's just for fun. Oh yeah, that's right. So name plate capacity. If you don't trade, or if you've never read about it, name plate capacity is kind of like the nominal level. You'll most commonly read that term nameplate capacity when they're talking about pipelines and LNG terminals. And I've never found like a concrete answer about like what it is because there's like nominal capacity and there's like maximum capacity, and they're two different things. And I'm pretty sure it just has to do with maintenance schedules. So like pipelines, and they have like compressor stations and stuff, which have like moving parts and motors. And then you have like LNG facilities, and there's a ton of moving parts in those. And so like they have to have maintenance schedules because there are pressures involved. Like physical pressures. You have like pressurized fluids involved in these things, so they have to have maintenance schedules in order to prevent things from exploding, like literally. And so I think the nameplate capacity, like the nominal and all that, it has to do with like maintenance schedules. So after like X amount of hours being run at nameplate capacity, and then I'm sure it's like it's prorated, like proportional. So anything over this shortens the time until the next maintenance that needs to be done. Anything under this lengthens that time. I'm sure, am I explaining it well enough?
For all of you who have seen the movie The Hunt for Red October, they'll be like, I want 105% out of the reactor.
There you
Russia
go.
gave them 105% out of the reactor instead of 55 is 100%. What they gave them was 105%. Boom.
Yes.
Go watch that movie.
There you go. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, it comes down to, so anyway, like you read those nameplate and it's like, but the thing says it can only pump this. They pump more, but that's why the capacity's there, the ability to do it. It's just there are some consequences for doing it. That's all. Whew.
Well, that was beautiful.
I'm out of breath for talking so much.
Well, I feel good about it.
Sweet, I do too. Have a good day, everybody. Good luck trading. Don't be a bag holder.
Don't be a bag holder.